get after for 6-8 seconds. Guys, this is what we had to get. This ain't the one we want. You got that ball!
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Laurel Leader Calls Sports Show. I'm your host, Jack Fairchild, joined alongside Kevin Lindsay and Josh Guru Nichols here. Of course, back for our second episode as we get started for a new football season. You know, last week we had the Jamboree. We'll talk about that here in a second. We've got also, and Kevin's about to hold it up, we've got the new football magazine. Guru's currently reading it and going through the various articles and stories that we have in there, previews of all of our local teams and area teams, also previews of all of the SEC and Southern Miss and Jones College. So a lot of stuff to check out. We'll get into that because, again, it's exciting. I think this Guru said last week, you believe this is our best issue yet. He's been a part of far more than me or Kevin have been a part of, so I think he would be the expert there. And there's so much we want to get into in this magazine. So I think Guru's already got it open to one that we held off talking about last week because we felt like it would be better to wait until we had the magazine in our hands, and that is this year's Jones County Dirty Dozen. I'm assuming, Guru, since you have it open, you want to go through who the Dirty Dozen are this year.
Well, we'll start at West Jones, senior quarterback Tootie Lindsay, Donta Sands, linebacker, and big defensive end Sawyer Shows, who you saw on the cover when Kevin held it up. Over at South Jones, Mr. Reed Robinson, anchor of the offensive line for the Hogs over there. Caleb Magruder, defensive back, wide receiver, and then who I like to call Baby Whit Weeks, linebacker Ezra Elsie. Northeast Jones, you got quarterback Eli Collins. Then you have Cooper Cooley and also Big Cannon Miller. Another shout out to the O lineman, as we had 3 this year. Moving on to Laurel, you have quarterback Bryson Bivens, another offensive lineman Jared Barnes, and Jacoy Magruder, another Magruder.
It's always a Magruder.
Always a Magruder.
It's exciting. Again, Kevin, kind of tell us a little bit of how we come to who our Dirty Dozen are in the magazine.
Yeah, so this year, I know we all kind of had our picks of who we thought would be nominated. The cool thing that I like with our Dirty Dozen, and this started last year when we unveiled the Dirty Dozen, was we got with our head coaches, and our head coaches were quick to say, well, why don't we just select 3 from each school?
Yeah.
And our 3 best. And by the 3 best, it doesn't mean just the 3 best on the field. Your 3 best or your 3 best on the field, off the field, how they carry themselves, all of those things. I know the one thing that stuck out to me last year was Coach Ernest. They bring usually 2 or 3, 4 kids to the Kiwanis Club meeting every year to kind of talk about the upcoming season and tell the members of the Kiwanis about what they expect, what the coaches expect. And Coach Ernest always says, I always bring 3 of my highest character kids who I want to represent Laurel High School. And everyone, the coaches agreed that that's what they wanted to do as far as the magazine. So we go in with a list of kind of who we think and who we might mention to some of the coaches, like, hey, this is who we were thinking. And then the coaches go in and they say, well, here's our 3 guys. And that's where you see 3 guys from every school. And it's the 3 guys who they think best represent the school. So I think it's cool. I think it gives a chance, where we don't look at stars and we don't just look at who they're being recruited by or anything like that. We just take the 3 best kids that are on and off the field. So I was really excited about it. And for Media Day, I was able to take their photos of each one of the Dirty Dozen.
Great job on all the photos, by the way.
Just really cool. Every kid was great. Every kid was professional. Every one of them had fun with it. We got some. We got a couple of photos that we took. The kids had to pick, and you'll see those on Facebook for the game day photos. Just week one, we had some fun with the photos since they're playing with one another. So they aren't really serious photos, but I don't want to spoil too much. Someone asked, where can we get the book? You can come by at the Laurel Leader Call and get the book. I will say they are going pretty fast. I think we've already got rid of almost 2 cases of books, and then of course we give out to schools and everywhere else. So, but yeah, just really cool, the Dirty Dozen. And then we've got our videos up there on the YouTube page where we ask 12 questions. So if you pick up the Dirty Dozen, there's a questionnaire kind of thing where we had some serious questions and non-serious questions that we asked.
And you can see the video on our YouTube page.
You can see the full edited videos of all 4 schools on the YouTube page that we're streaming from live here. So yeah, great stuff.
You know, and our office hours are typically 8 to 4, Monday through Friday, but except for on days that we recorded this show, the doors typically lock at 3 because we're up here recording. So
And Friday afternoon.
And Friday afternoon, it could be
2.
It could be 2-ish. It could be sooner than that. It just depends on what everybody has to do.
Depends on Pat Murphy.
Yeah, it really does. Really does. Guru, what, you know, again, you talked about last week how this was the best magazine yet. What in your mind made this stick out to you as the best football magazine you've been a part of since you've been around the Laurel Leader Call?
The first thing would be the cover itself with what Kevin came up with. Loved the idea from the first time he showed it to us well over a month ago. And then the way that we ended up using that type of layout throughout the magazine for the 4 local high schools and their team pages and then individual pages. And just the way, you know, Casey followed, you know, what Kevin had asked Casey, our creative designer, and just laid it out the way he wanted. I mean, so I told Kevin back in the day before, you know, AI was such a great tool to easily utilize to come up with ideas. And I told him I'd take a piece of paper and draw something out and chicken scratch basically and give it to Casey and say, this is what I want this page to look like, or this section to look like, or whatever. And then it turns out 10 times better than anything that I even thought of it being. And I mean, just from cover to cover, all the ads, I mean, just the team pages. But the high school section for Jones County specifically, it just, I mean, it pops. The white background for one, and then just the little blurbs that are everywhere. I think the content's great. I think Dale McKee did an excellent job on his looking back at the 1996 Northeast Jones Tigers state championship team. It's a good little feature article to read, and I'm sure that team will appreciate that a lot. I mean, cover to cover, it's the new number 1.
I mean, we've got a lot of really cool features in there. Not just the profile or the feature stories on the teams, but we have profiles on select players they're really good. All 3 of us wrote a profile piece. We all picked how many SEC teams did we each get?
4.
Each of us got 4, including our executive editor Sean Murphy. So we enjoyed doing that. I was able to put in an article about a potential future high school football video game that is expected to come out next year, that I've got a feature story in there about that. And again, if you're one of the football coaches, athletic directors in the state, not just in our area, you might want to check that out, because you have a chance, if you sign up with this organization, you could get your actual school and logos in this game, which I think would be really cool. As somebody that enjoys video games, that was part of the reason why I felt like, let's go ahead and do this story now and not wait till next year when the game's actually out. Because I know when I spoke to one of our local coaches, had never heard of the organization, didn't know that there was a high school football video game in development. And I just hope that maybe this sparks some of them to look into this, and maybe next year when this game fires up, Kev, we can be playing South Jones versus West Jones, Laurel versus Northeast, and just have fun. I mean, Kevin, what stuck out to you as far as some of the stories in this year's?
I just want to talk about the magazine overall. And I might post it on my personal page, where I got the inspiration from. It's one of my favorite ESPN covers, the magazine covers. It was Calvin Johnson with the Detroit Lions. He's holding the football, and it's like smash down, and there's all kind of little sayings and stuff. And that's kind of what I went with. I just love the clean layout. I don't like a busy layout. And again, like Guru said, I just went to Casey and was like, hey, can you do this? And then you'll see all throughout this magazine, especially with the player profiles, you'll see their little sayings and stuff that they had. One of the ones, I'm looking at Bryson Bivens. They're called the Tweakers, and like that's in there. And then you have Tiger Bait from Cannon, and so on. And I just love it. I love the layout of it. Casey did a great job. I love the player profiles, being able to go in and you get like a little taste of what these kids are about and what they enjoy most. And I think what I enjoyed with Reed, because I got to do Reed's from Reed Robinson from South Jones as he came by here, and just hearing him talk about, he knew he wanted to play football from the time he was a little kid, to being a part of South Jones for so many years, for the ups and the downs, and seeing what they want to do and what he wants to do in finishing. I think that's really cool. I had the chance to do a feature on Akeem Davis, former Laurel standout, now coach at UNLV, with Dan Mullen. Charles Cross was down here for Akeem's camp, the AD 47 camp. This is their 10th year putting that on. Akeem does not have the assistants, I don't think, with the NFLPA anymore, but he still wanted to put on the camp. And we have some great advertisers locally that come in and support that. And then Charles Cross, man. Charles is the highest paid lineman in the NFL. and he gets down here at 6 o'clock in the morning, is already signing autographs. Kids are coming in, hanging all over him. He's just loving it. You never would have thought that this is a multi-millionaire. Kids walking around probably could walk around with $1 million in his back pocket, and you never would have knew it. And it was really cool seeing that. And then we'll spend the day with Akeem and Charles and all those guys, and the LPD. I don't want to take Mississippi Highway Patrol and those officers that come out and help volunteer. I definitely want to say that. And the last shout out that I'll give, and I'll shut up about it, is I want to give a big shout out to Laurel High School, Coach Ernest. The last 2 years, we have wanted a space to use, and he has been the first to offer the football field last year. And this year, we wanted to do something inside because I needed to be able to have consistent lighting for this photo shoot.
Unlike the weather interruptions from last year.
Right. I needed to have consistent lighting with no clouds. And he's like, man, just come in and use the gym. And they had a lot going on that day. They had their district meeting, and I think they had Meet the Tornadoes or something going on at the school. And he still let us use the gym. And I just really want to say how much I appreciate him and all of our coaches for letting the kids come out and have some fun.
And that was no disrespect to any other of the Jones County schools, because originally, after we did it last year at Laurel, we were planning on going to a county school this year, but then in the spring, it was announced everybody was getting turf.
Yeah.
So that nixed those plans.
Turf,
they were still working on the
redone.
facilities.
There was a ton of stuff going on.
Does that mean, Kevin, that this year you won't disrespect the gift that Coach Ernest gave you of that Laurel helmet behind me?
I mean, I
tossed it on the ground.
I gave it a good run before I tossed it on the ground.
I think you tossed it on the ground the same day that you received it.
I don't know about that.
I think that's accurate, don't you, Goo? I think he got it, and he wore it for a little while until it came time to pitch. Now, ultimately, I think he was
on my
right.
head. The West Jones one won't fit on my head. I don't think the South will either.
We need to get a Northeast Jones. Coach Milner, if you're watching, we need a Northeast Jones hat. Coach Aaron, a helmet. We need an updated South Jones helmet as well.
We need a Heidelberg and a Stringer and a Silver Bay helmet too.
Yeah, coaches, come on. We need a
You
couple
should be able
more
to
helmets.
get the Stringer one.
I should be able to get. I got 2 jerseys that's being held hostage.
Yeah. I mean, we'll talk to them about that tomorrow. We'll see at least 2 of the coaches we need helmets from tomorrow. So maybe they'll greet us with props for the shows. But we need to talk about, before we get into tomorrow and Friday night's plans, we need to talk about the Jones College Jamboree. You both went and covered a couple of games. Guru was at the first 2 games. You were at the second 2 games. Of course, and I'll repeat this story before I go to you guys, having lunch today here in downtown at Wilson's, and one of the employees asked the question, are county teams that bad? Because they see the Jamboree, and I think some people don't understand that it's only a 30-minute game. In some instances, it's not even a game in the sense, and Guru will talk about that with the first game he's at. It's kind of like a dry run through, to where, and a lot of coaches aren't going to show all of their hands. So I guess the question, Guru, will start with you since you were at the first 2 games. Is it time to panic in the Free State over the Jamboree games?
Well, I can sum the whole Jamboree up regardless if I was at the game or not, and I think Kevin will agree and attest to everything I'm about to say. Number 1 is no room for panic. Number 2, when you look at Heidelberg, McGee, and Seminary, those are 3 programs that are Class 2A or Class 3A. And when they get a chance to play a Class 5 or 6A team, it is a mini Super Bowl to them. It is something that they get way up here for. They come to play, to show out. Kevin will tell you there was not a lot of substitutions by those smaller schools. They consider that a win. And I mean, in their sense. Now, for our schools, you have 2 things working against you. One is all 4 schools are in a Jamboree at the same facility, and outside of Laurel and Northeast Jones, they all play each other. Mm-hmm. So every one of them, from Laurel to West Jones, Northeast Jones, South Jones, they're going to be very vanilla, especially on offense. They're not going to show too much on defense. Even in the West Jones Seminary game, both coaches agreed beforehand. Quarterbacks were off limits. Tootie Lindsay was wearing a red jersey, which any football fan knows that means don't hit. Seminary, while they were in all red uniforms, their quarterback had a yellow pullover jersey over his game jersey. And I mean, for number 1, Tootie's a dual threat quarterback, so that takes his running out of the equation. And there was one point, and I thought it was kind of an early whistle, but I remember the Seminary quarterback dropping back to throw, and I mean, the guy was literally about a foot closer to you than I am right now, and reached out and barely touched him, and they blew the play dead. Yeah, because and basically was, for the quarterback, it was touch, not 2-hand touch. It was just any touch from a defender, and it's a dead ball. And I don't have a problem with it because it's a Jamboree. It's a glorified practice. The one good thing it does give all the schools that participate in Jamborees is the opportunity to go out and hit somebody, whereas they've been hitting the same guy in the same uniform for the last several months. And that's the biggest takeaway. And, you know, you also get to work on your timing with your quarterback and offensive line and everything in that regards. But as far as scores go in a Jamboree game, anybody that takes really anything away from that more than just the face value of it, it's you're wasting your time, because what happened last Friday is not what tomorrow and this Friday night will be like for any of the schools that were there.
100% agree. Before we go to Kevin, let me ask you this. Is there anything you saw in the 2 games you were at that excited you, or anything you saw that you're like, that's an area they're going to need to work on?
I look forward to watching Tootie be able to play at full capacity and be able to do in his senior year what God gave him the ability to do, throw the ball downfield, which will be done a lot. And then when the pocket collapses, watching him run. I've loved watching him run for years now, since I first met him when he was probably in the 5th grade, playing out at So-So. Sharon. And then with South Jones, they got to find a quarterback. That's in the preview of the South Northeast game in today's edition of the Leader Call. They got a sophomore and a senior, and both of them had their moments, and both of them showed signs of deficiency. And Coach Harrington put it best. They're going to put out there. They both bring different things to the table, and at some point, I know Casey well enough that he'll make a decision that, okay, we've played this amount of games. This guy's done this. This guy's, it's kind of like in the NFL. I mean, the Cleveland Browns come immediately to mind with Deshaun Watson and Shador Sanders. They made a decision that Deshaun was going to be the starter, and that's how it is. Come week 3, it might be Shador. I mean, tomorrow night, I don't know which one of the two is going to start, but I know both of them are going to play. And one of them could play well enough that in game 2, he's the starter, and he might run with it the rest of the way. Or they might play a 2-quarterback system the rest of the year.
Yeah. Kevin, again, first question to you, of course, your thoughts on the Jamboree as a whole. And then the second question, what did you see that you liked? What did you see that they need to work on?
Yeah, my first thing is seminary. It was, for some of those fans, they thought it was their Super Bowl, beating West Jones in practice jerseys and a red shirt, which is funny. As I posted our predictions on TikTok, and man, you had people going nuts after, wow, the Jamboree was going on. They were commenting on the TikTok. It's kind of crazy. I agree. I don't think you can. Someone come in this morning getting a kickoff magazine. I told them the same thing. I said, you really can't look too much into the scores. It really doesn't matter. I mean, they're kicking field goals with nobody else on the field. So I did think one cool thing was Summerall tried a 53-yard field goal attempt. He nearly made it. That
is cool.
Props. Seriously, I mean, there are not many kids that are doing that around here. But yeah, I don't think you can really go by much as far as scores go. As far as your other question, things that you see that you look at and that looks good or looks, deficiencies. For Northeast Jones and Summerall, I think Summerall's still that gritty team. I've talked about it in my own personal podcast this week. Summerall looked really gritty, look really tough, hard-nosed team. I think they'll be fine where they're at. And then Northeast Jones, they look like a team that swapped from the wing tee to the shotgun formation. I'll be honest with you. I think that Coach Milner, afterwards, I kind of sat back in the coach's circle whenever he was talking to him, and he was like, hey, there's some things that, Summerall did really, really well, and there's some things that we can look at and say we need to do a lot better.
Yeah.
And that's what you're supposed to get from a Jamboree. Like Guru said, you're hitting somebody that's not your own teammate at this point. And, I think that Northeast Jones, I'm interested to see how they look tomorrow. That's the thing. I'm interested to see how they look tomorrow against the South Jones team, who I think is going to be plenty capable to win a lot of football games. I think Eli Collins, I think he looked great at times. It's kind of one of those situations where they didn't have a red shirt on him.
Yeah.
He was able to run a little bit, but I think that there was flashes where I saw, okay, if this was a real game, he'd probably lower his shoulder.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. As far as the big one, the Laurel Heidelberg game, I do wish this was a regular season game.
Oh, it'd be a fun regular season game.
Oh, man, it would be so fun if it was a regular season game. I think that there was a lot of good things. If you're a Heidelberg fan, you come out of there with your chest held high because you went against a 5A team and you probably could have put 30 on them in 2 quarters.
Yeah.
They let the clock run out. Last minute and a half when they were down at the 5-yard line. If you're Laurel, I think there's some good things to look for. I don't think it's all gloom and doom. I think that Moffitt, senior running back, he was impressive to me. I think Bivens, there's flashes. And I know he threw, I think it was 3 or 4 interceptions. 4. Yeah, you're saying 4. There was one he threw into double coverage. He was just taking a chance. If you don't do it, you're going to have to punt. So I think he was just throwing it to throw it.
Do you think that's a chance in a regular season game that he would take, or do you think it was a?
No,
I guess my question is: was it a good chance, or was it a jamboree?
I think if you're looking at it as jamboree, yeah, you take that chance. You just try to make a highlight play. There was one interception. I think I felt like I told you guys that I don't know if the receiver ran the correct route. It just looked off.
Yeah,
Like
I got it. I got Ernest to confirm.
Yeah.
The two of them were on Bivens. The other two, one, like you said, was a miscommunication
Yeah.
on the route to run. And then the other one, like you thought you saw, you did. It was supposed to be a screen pass, but it got tipped at the line of scrimmage and just popped right into the defender's hand.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just, I don't think there's anything to worry about. I'm excited to see Bivens again continue. I think that this is one of the things where you just don't really worry about it. And again, I think that this is going to be the test. If Friday night, West Jones, they face a formidable team, they're going to play 48 minutes. That's where you're really going to see what each one of them has. But don't panic over a jamboree. 2 quarters, bro.
100% agree. I just had to add, because again, I thought most people understood the rules of a jamboree, but apparently there are a lot that think that those were actual.
This is Jones County, baby. We take it serious.
They do take it serious. I'm not saying don't take it serious. I'm just saying that it was 2 quarters.
Let me clarify something too, real quick, while I'm thinking about it.
Cheater.
let me clarify something. I posted the rough night for the Free State. First of all, it's not racist to call it the Free State. There's a whole movie called The Free State of Jones.
Who's saying it's racist?
There was somebody hinted to me that it was racist. We are the Free State of Jones, okay? Nothing racist in that. Second of all, the picture was the kid leaning back. I thought it was a perfect photo for the night that Jones County had, where we had one tie and the other 3 lose. And it was kind of how I felt like, glad that one's over with the rain delays and everything else. Kid, I love the kid, man. I've been watching him play for a little bit. There's no ill will for me posting the photo of the kid leaning back on the bleacher. Just social media needs to chill. We need to take a chill, man.
And we see it all the time in news coverage. We see it social media brings out the worst in people, sadly.
Yeah,
we see it all the time. I agree 100%.
Get a hobby at the lobby.
Don't just chill in sport. Chill in everything, because trust me, we're not out to get these kids at all. We matter of fact, in many instances, we've developed connections to a lot of these kids because we're out there every Friday night covering them, and in the other sports, on Tuesdays, on Thursdays, we care about those kids. So again, this whole Kevin posted that picture to make him feel bad. No, he didn't.
I'm sure the kid loved having his picture put out there on social media.
Apparently, he was not happy with it. But look,
we're supposed to capture.
That's just what I'm getting from social media.
Yeah, we're supposed to capture moments, and not every moment is going to be hoisting a championship. Sometimes that moment is going to be the misery.
Kevin will tell you, if it's your local school and you're covering them in a state championship game, there's one of 2 photos you're looking for. If they do win, you want the trophy, the money shot. If they lose, you wanted a shot of the despair of, of how, the dejection of, how, because it means something. It means something to all of them, the coaches, the players, the fans, the families. And a dejection photo is almost more powerful than the rejoicing, the thrill of winning photo.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, we'll get into Friday and Thursday night games here in just a second. But, one of the biggest sports topics that have been going on all week has been this NFL players that were in an NFL training camp. Of course, they were rookies who were granted eligibility, decided that they were going to go back to college after getting released by their NFL team. Of course, a polarizing coach that is the coach of Guru's team is the one who gets them, turns into a big stink. The Big Ten acted first, saying that none of our institutions will be allowed to have any of these kids on their team if they signed with an NFL team. There can't be. The SEC has since followed suit. So, again, it's been a whole controversy that ends the way that I think most of us thought it probably would. Eventually, the conference is getting involved. The one thing, and before I go to you guys, I want to say is, look, I'm not the biggest Lane Kiffin fan, not even remotely. But can we stop pretending that if you're a fan of another team, that your team wasn't making these same phone calls to these kids? Can we stop pretending that your team was higher because you recruited them too?
Well, let me, since I wrote it down, Kiffin said, and first thing he said was that he was totally against it.
He did.
Totally against it. Then he said, they're either going to play for you or they're going to play for someone else around the country. And that's the bottom line. And this is what a mess the NCAA has made of the FBS.
Yep.
They have no balls. They do nothing to restrain.
No teeth anymore.
Nothing. They're gutless. They're worse than the MHSAA, and that takes a lot because they are a terrible organization. And for the conferences to have to come out to implement a ruling on this, number one, we're going to find out if that has any teeth or not, because there's a Louisiana judge that's already made an injunction for the 2 players that are going to LSU, and I'm still waiting on an announcement because the tight end, I can't recall his name off the top of my head, was supposed to
Harris.
Officially signed today with the Tigers. And and even Ryan Day, the head coach at Ohio State, said pretty much the exact same thing after the Big Ten came out and made its statement. He said the same thing that Kiffin said. Doesn't agree with them being able to do it, totally supports what the Big Ten has, the rules they put in place, but also said, if they're allowed to play in the NCAA, somebody's going to pick them. And I was talking with the same guy that he mentioned from South Jones, Reed Robinson, earlier today, and we were talking about the exact same thing. And I told him, watch, within the next 48 hours, the Big 12, the ACC are going to follow. Now, my question is, are the little conferences going to follow? Because if I'm one of them, I wouldn't. If I'm Dan Mullen at UNLV, and these 2 cats that played at Ole Miss last year can no longer go to a Power 4 school, guess what? Come on to Vegas, baby. We'll take you. And
even Southern Miss right down the road.
They can't afford them.
They can't afford them, but
there ain't no way in hell they're going.
But I'm just pointing out smaller schools.
You got a better chance for them ending up at Tulane or Memphis.
That's accurate. Although they did sell away their naming rights to try to have more money.
The Renaissance.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Stadium.
But
Renaissance Bank Stadium. But no, I don't think anybody in their right mind would agree with it. I think once you commit to go pro, once you enter the draft, once you sign a free agent deal, you're a professional. And I understand, I totally get why there's in the original lawsuit, there were 16 players in football and an additional 14 other athletes from other sports, all in the same scenario. And what happened was the NCAA came out, with the new 5-year eligibility rule. Well, it didn't come out until after they had already gone to the draft.
Yeah.
And they still were in that window where this would have been their 5th year. Had they have known beforehand, then they likely would have had the decision to make whether they stayed and entered the portal or they went to the draft.
Yeah, and they weren't first round drafted.
No, they weren't drafted at all.
Yeah.
They were free agents. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure if they had any inkling of knowing that they weren't going to get drafted, they would have never entered the draft. So, for them, it's the cards they were dealt, and they're trying to do their best to do what's best for them. Because under a free agent contract in the NFL, if they're as good as projected, they're going to make more money playing 1 year of college ball than they would for a 1 year free agent deal to basically be on the practice squad and try to compete for a 53-man roster. And I get that, but the NCAA needs to make the rule, and then all the other conferences need to adopt it and it be done all together.
I just don't think the NCAA has They have no teeth.
And it's just college football,
Yeah.
Division I FBS college football. Everything else, every other freaking sport that they govern, they hand out a national championship trophy to.
Yeah.
The FBS is the only sport that they don't, and it is the number one sport that they have absolutely zero control over anymore.
Kevin, what's your take on this whole mess before we move off of it?
Pro players shouldn't be able to go back to college.
Absolutely.
Pretty simple.
Yeah, it's a clear-cut thing. It's a terrible look. I get why the coaches would be willing to bring them in, but I applaud the conferences for stepping up and doing what I think is the right thing, and I hope that means we can move on from this. I question whether or not the fight's truly over.
It's not.
The fact that the conferences, at least the SEC statement says they'll punish the institution, they may be well within their rights there if the institution moves forward with them. So we'll see. But I definitely, and here's the thing too, nowadays that we've got these legal proceedings, they go and pick a judge, whether it's up in Oxford, whether it's down there in Baton Rouge, they're going to sue in their hometown court because they know they're going to get
90% of the time, because there was a ruling in the state of Alabama over, I think it was a basketball player, and that judge, it hadn't dealt without the University of Alabama, but he ruled against unbelievably, and he was an actual Alabama alum as well.
Yeah.
But I agree. I mean, that's typically what they're going to do, and typically get their injunction. That's how Trinidad Chambliss is still the starting quarterback at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
The only thing that I will say is I think it's the NBA. I think they still do this where you can go and you can get evaluated to see what pick you would be or where you would fall.
Yeah.
And maybe the NFL does something similar to this.
I don't think they do.
No, they
I
don't.
know Saban used to
Because the
talk
NFL
about,
just started. I mean, the NBA just started this recently.
I know Saban used to talk about that he would tell any guy who was projected as a fourth rounder, I think, or above to go. And if they were projected fourth rounder or less, fourth rounder later, to stay. And I wish they would kind of do something like that.
Yeah, because once you declare for the NFL draft, then
You're locked
as of
in.
right now, that's it.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the deal where maybe the NFL could
Follow the
maybe-
NBA.
Yeah, just follow that. Maybe you have a pro day. Maybe you have something similar to a pro day or this day where you can go. Maybe even if it's.
I mean,
a
hell,
week.
if there's enough damn videotape out there that they
Yeah.
should be able to be evaluated and say, hey, look, I mean, it would take getting the 32 franchises together to offer a grade for Kevin Lindsay, Jack Fairchilds, and Josh Nichols on where they believe they fall. And then you take those 32 collective gradings and put them into one and say, okay, you're projected between the second and third round by all 32 teams. All right, now you're going.
Yeah.
Well, you're projected to be sixth rounder later, so you probably should stay.
Yeah, I think that should be something that we think about doing. But otherwise, if you're a pro player, stay in the pros.
Absolutely. Well, it's that time, folks. It's time for the wild card question of the week. And
Chicago Bears.
never. The Indiana Bears. That's what they are. They're going to be here in just a couple of years.
Shindiana.
Shindiana. I can go with Shindiana. The wild card question, again, with football season kicking off this weekend, particularly high school football season. I know there are a couple of college games in the silly week 0 nonsense. It's week 1, just with few games, people. But anyway, we've got the official kickoff this weekend. So my question to you guys is, you're big football folks. What movie or TV series do you go to
Friday Night
to
Lights.
get you hyped up for high school football season to begin? And I heard, Kevin, movie or TV show? Both. Mine would be the TV version of Friday Night Lights because, I mean, it dives through the whole season, multiple episodes. So I'm right there with Kev. Goo, what you got?
I'd read the book first. The book's the best
Book
of the
is
three.
great.
Book is way more in depth. For high school specifically, it would have to be Remember the Titans.
It's a good one.
No, I mean, without a doubt. Varsity Blues close second.
Oh, I always forget it. And, we just lost Mox recently. So
We lost, gosh, I can't remember her name. The little girl from Remember the Titans.
Oh yeah, we
She's
lost
my
her
age,
too.
33.
Hayden.
She has a
Can't remember her
difficult
last name.
name.
Yeah, but yeah, and everybody forgets she was the coach's daughter in that movie because she was so young. She went on to play the cheerleader in that NBC superhero show, Heroes, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I mean, she went on to have a big career, but most people forget she was the daughter in that movie, and she was a Spitfire in that movie. So, yeah, yeah. So we don't want to get into sad stuff, so we'll move on. But again,
Plus, go back to Varsity Blues without talking about Moxon.
Yeah.
There you go.
it's just again that movie. I remember going and seeing it at the movie theater there in Laurel with a couple of my classmates from JC, and it was just it was a fun movie.
And not going to name any names or anything like that, but in some ways that movie was realistic when I played at a certain school in Jones County.
Yeah,
There's a lot of similarities.
I have been told by multiple people that probably felt more real to them in the way the players acted, the way they talked to one another, and I think that was part of what made that movie have an appeal. So I'm glad you reminded us that may be one I have to fire up over the weekend. Of course, we are planning on going live tomorrow. It'll just be on Facebook Live before the Northeast Jones, South Jones game there at South Jones, and then again, West Jones at Laurel. So we are going to attempt to do a Facebook Live tomorrow. We pulled this off during the baseball season, as you guys know. We won't do this every game this year. We may pick a couple of games throughout the season in which that we will say, hey, we might want to go there, be live. But obviously, we're going to all have to spread out after we do that. Of course, since we'll all be at this particular 2 games, we can start probably closer to 6 range that we are shooting for, unless you guys have a different time in mind for it. But again, I think that'll be a lot of fun. I think that'll be another element we can bring to the game day atmosphere. So if you're a student and you want to find us and have fun like they do on College Game Day, bring your sign. Set up behind us. We'll, I don't know that we have a big enough camera to capture all of the sign, but we would definitely welcome audience participation at these live events. I know it's something we talked about last year, but I think we thought too big last year. We were thinking doing a full show on YouTube and everything. Then I think because of what we did with the base during baseball, it started during soccer season actually.
Yeah,
that's when we started at Kevin's, when we were going live before the soccer games. So it's something we're excited to bring to the football this year. And like I said, we'll announce on the shows. If we're going somewhere live that week, we will announce that week, hey, we'll be at this game this week. So this week we are planning on doing both games, since one's Thursday and one's Friday. Rare time where we can do that. So pretty exciting to do it. The real question, and this could have been the wild card question, is if we can get the mascots to show up, which one of you two is putting on the headgear? Because I know
Mascot's not giving up his headgear if he's doing his job right.
they did during baseball. Just saying, if we do, which one of y'all's gonna put on?
I guarantee you will not get a Mustang head. I guarantee that.
yeah. I probably wouldn't be able to get a Brave either. I don't know.
I know for a fact you're not getting Marty's head while Marty's
I was
out
thinking
there.
about that during graduation because I watched North Carolina's graduation because Eric Church was the keynote speaker, and Tar Heel.
Yep.
When they revealed who the mascot was, he was wearing the feet.
Yep.
going
So they
across
do the
his
same
face.
thing at LSU.
Yeah, they done that
At
with
Mike's
West
feet.
Jones.
Yep.
Yeah.
Marty does it at West Jones too. You're right.
Yep, West Jones. I forgot about that. So
And you don't want Laurel to bring its old
have to do a helmet. I have to do a
mascot.
helmet.
Was he? Yeah, it might just have to be helmets. But again,
Yeah,
it
you
goes
remember
back-
that?
Yeah.
You remember the jug too?
Yep. They had a jug and they had a little nader.
The one year though, there was a little Nader, and he got down when the band would crank up.
Yeah.
Brother had some soul in him now.
He was also at the West Point and Laurel state championship
Yep.
game and failed.
Yep,
in
I
the
remember.
rain.
Yeah, because it was miserable out there, and I don't think he did anymore after that
I
fall.
think they retired. They retired him after he failed.
Oh,
But the question
sugar
still
fuck.
remains whether it's a helmet or a headgear. Who's the one that gets
Well,
put
they don't have a helmet up here big enough for either one of us.
We'll have to, we can't give away all our secrets.
Well, of course. But we'll move on from that. Just look for us tomorrow, probably around 6. Probably be setting up closer to, I don't know, maybe closer to where they'll be tailgating. I'm not sure. We probably won't make that decision until we get there. I guess it's kind of hard to predict, but yeah. Now it's time to get into our picks. We've got about 12 minutes to go through these. So we'll start with the college games. There are 8 games on Saturday, but we're only going through 4 of them. The first one is the UNC versus TCU game in Dublin. I've got UNC. I really haven't studied enough about either of these two teams. I could see it going either way, but I'm going to go with the Tar Heels.
Oh, it's my turn. My bad. I couldn't remember which way we went. It's been a year, okay?
It has been a year.
I'm picking TCU because Bill Belichick is a joke.
That's a fair point.
It's the frog. It's the frog logo.
That's
What was that? That
Yeah,
looked
I
like you were
wasn't
just
sure.
moving your
Yeah, I
foot.
thought he was trying to
The horn
write
frog.
something. This
Look
is
it up. The horn frog. Definitely the horn frogs, the horny toads over the fake heels. Belichick needs to just disappear. Go be a NFL executive. You don't belong in college football.
tend to agree. NC State at Virginia. I'm going with NC State in this one. Kevin?
Same.
Yeah, I like the Wolfpack is one of my surprise picks to potentially make a run to the ACC championship game. Got a good quarterback. Can't recall his name off the top of my head, but Wolfpack, baby. Plus, my son lives in North Carolina. Shout out, Caleb.
Next, we've got Jacksonville State traveling to the Fargo Dome for North Dakota State. This is their first game as part of Division I football. I think North Dakota State being at home in that loud dome environment, I think they'll be able to take care of a Jacksonville State that's going on a long road trip. So I think they get their introduction to the next level with a win. So I'm going with North Dakota State. Kevin?
Shout out Josh Allen, but Jacksonville State wins it.
Ooh. I'm going to have to go with Jack on this one. I think the Bison in their first year open up their FBS slate with a win at home. I think that the dome is too much. I think North Dakota State's a better program than Jacksonville State overall, and go Dakota.
Look, if this game was at Jacksonville State, I would probably go the Gamecocks.
Oh, there's no way in hell I'd pick North Dakota State coming to Jacksonville,
yeah, because they'd
Alabama.
have to deal with that heat.
Yeah, they'll melt.
But up there, I think that trip and that dome is going to be unlike anything there. So I think that's why. And now we've got former Southern Miss head coach taking on former Mississippi State head coach with Memphis at UNLV. I've got the Fighting Dan Mullins winning this one. It's in Vegas, so give me UNLV in this one.
Shout out to King Davis, baby. UNLV wins it.
I knew where you were going in that one.
Yeah.
What about your boy from Laurel playing at Memphis?
I mean, yeah, he's probably not going to play though, right? I mean, I'd love to see him play first game, first career start or play in it, but I got to go with the King.
I don't disagree. I was just giving you a hard time. I think the Fighting Dan Mullins as well. I think UNLV might make a little noise this year, might push Boise around for they'll be one of the, when we get to November, mid-November, we'll probably be talking about UNLV as one of the possible teams to get that final playoff spot as the at-large.
All right, now we're getting into our high school picks. We've got Bowling Green School out of Louisiana taking on Wayne Academy. Of course, does anybody know much about this Bowling Green School out of Louisiana? I know these Louisiana schools typically are tough.
They're 1-1.
1-1. That's all I know, but I'm going with Wayne Academy. I hope that they can have a really good season this year. So give me Wayne Academy to win this home game.
Give me Wayne Academy, and I'm going to go ahead and get you on the second one to close out the MAIS. Give me the Ben's Ford Christian
I got
Little
Ben's
Men
Ford,
over
too.
Silver Bay Little Men.
Yeah, I got
Little man football.
I got the car dealership taking care of Silver Bay.
I was born in Louisiana. Love you, Coach Breland, but I'm going with Bowling Green, and I'm also going with the car dealership since Ben's Ford Christian is 2-0, and we don't get much from Silver Bay, so go Ben's Ford.
There we go. We've got Mobile Christian. Now we're getting into our public school games. Mobile Christian at PCS. I think Presbyterian Christian is going to take care of business. I think they win this game. Kevin?
I'm going to go with PCS.
Yeah, this is actually kind of a crossover game. Mobile Christian out of Alabama. They are a private school down there, and they actually beat PCS 45-35 to open the year last year. However, we saw how PCS did in their first year in public school football, and I'm not going against PCS in this one either. So 3-0 right there.
Next, we've got Collins at Summerall. Give me Summerall to win this one.
Same, Summerall.
It's fixing to get boring. Summerall.
This one might be the one where maybe we'll get some different because this is a game that could go either way. We've got Brandon at Tupelo. Last year, Tupelo won at Brandon. I think Tupelo protects home field. Give me Tupelo.
Give me Tupelo. If I pick against Tupelo, I got to hear it.
The Golden Wave.
Yep. Still born.
Maybe the next
this
three.
These next three, I think, could get tricky for sure. Starkville at Oak Grove. Man, this is going to be a good game. But I'm going with the home team again. Give me Oak Grove to beat Starkville in a tight game.
Shout out to my boy Austin Frazier, who's a big Starkville supporter and takes photos up there. But guess what, Austin? The drive is too much. Oak Grove defends home turf. They take this one.
Doing the preview for Oak Grove for kickoff. I got good conversation with Coach Causey from Oak Grove, and I mean, I'm picking them to win 7A, and it's going to start with a win over Starkville.
There you go. Next, we've got the defending champs in Gulfport traveling to Picayune. Gulfport last year, Kevin, you and I saw them play against Laurel. We were blown away by that running back. He's gone. He's graduated. But I think Gulfport will start the season off with a win. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be close, but I think they do go on the road at Picayune and sneak out a victory.
Yeah, Cooper Crosby, man, started out just getting some small offers, ends up getting offered for Mississippi State. Shout out, you got my boys a national championship on NCAA 27 this year in the road to glory. Shout out, Crosby. I'm picking Gulfport.
And so much for that.
Yeah, I mean, well, this is our last shot. You said the next three, so this is the last of that three.
I mean, mine are already circled, so
so are mine. Except for I've got one I got a question mark about.
Just the Admirals for me too.
Next we've got Petal at Hattiesburg.
A rivalry game.
It is a rivalry game.
It is a rivalry.
This one is a rivalry game. Hattiesburg, of course, they've gone to 3 straight state championship games, lost all 3, but that just tells you this is a consistently good program. Petal is one of those programs that a lot of people are expecting to rise this year, is only going to get better. But I think at Hattiesburg is going to be a little bit too much for them. Give me the Tigers to win this one.
Yeah, this is probably, if I couldn't be at like Brandon Tupelo or somewhere like that, I'd probably be at this game.
Yeah.
It's a really good atmosphere. With that said, though, I'm taking Petal in this one.
Hey, there we go.
I
like you going different.
Finally. Yeah, another spoiler. I'm taking Hattiesburg to win it all in 6A, and it starts with a win over their cross-county rival, the Petal Panthers. Give me the Tigers.
Next, we've got Noxubee County at Heidelberg. This should be another good game. It's at Heidelberg. I like what I saw last year of that environment, the way those kids respond to their home field. Give me the Oilers. They're going to win this one.
Knoxville County, y'all gonna think I'm a bunch of haters, but I'm not. I think you're gonna end up probably playing for the 3A state title.
Yeah.
But you
Again.
ain't beating Heidelberg in the Berg Friday night, baby.
Yeah,
Big
I mean,
Heidelberg.
it's the Class 3A and Class 2A runners-up meeting over there. The mighty metropolis of Heidelberg. Go through there 2 nights a week, boys. I tell you what, them Heidelbergers are getting ready. They're getting ready for them Tigers from Knoxville County now. They're going to come in. They're going to run that football. They both going to run that football. But Heidelberg got something at quarterback. Knoxville County don't have.
Yeah.
Who that?
Chase Craft.
Mr. 2A.
Mm-hmm.
Heidelberg rolls.
Next, we've got Diablerville at Raleigh. Give me Raleigh in this one.
I want to pick Raleigh really bad. They played Diablerville close last year.
14-6.
Yep. But my only problem is, my only issue I see is new quarterback.
A lot of newness.
Yep. And new offensive line. I don't think that's going to affect them down the year. I think they're just going to get better. I think we're going to have Knoxville and Raleigh in a rematch in the state title game. That's how confident I am. But with that said, I'm picking Diablerville.
Yeah, I don't know if Raleigh's going to be as good as they were last year. Open with the loss against Diablerville, ran off 14 straight on the way to the 3A state title. But doing a little digging, Diablerville's got a lot more of their key players back from last year's team than Raleigh does, and I think they're going to roll on Friday night. Give me the Warriors.
Next, we've got Bay Springs at South Pike. I'm going with Bay Springs in this one, Kev.
Yeah, this game went to overtime last year. I had a little bet with my former sports editor over there at Enterprise Journal that Bay Springs would come over there and win that game. But I think South Pike is going to return the favor this time. I think they've got a lot of talent over there, and I think that they're going to come out and upset Bay Springs.
Not so fast, my friend. They did it once. They can do it twice. They got Owens back at running back in the backfield. He's going to get at least $150 and 2 scores, and the Bulldogs go to Pike County and pick up a win to start the season.
That's going to be awesome. Another good game. So next we've got Stringer at Enterprise Clark. I'm going with Stringer. Give me them Red Devils in this one, Kev.
Stringer over Clark.
It's just Enterprise.
No, there's a distinction.
No, it's just Enterprise.
There's a distinction.
Go look at their school. It doesn't say Enterprise Clark High School. It says Enterprise. I was there last year. They don't wear Enterprise. You can have your Enterprise Lincoln. I mean, that can be the
Look, the only reason it says
differential.
Enterprise Clark on a rundown because it was copy and paste from the site I pulled all the games.
And that's why I pulled it off of everybody's schedule that's in our magazine, because it's just Enterprise on the eastern part of Mississippi. And with that being said, give me the Fighting Dan, Brady's, and the Devils from Stringer.
Next, we've got Pearl Rivers Central at Wayne County.
This is one I haven't circled yet.
This is the one I hadn't circled yet because I'm wearing orange. I really want to pick Wayne County because I think they're going to be much improved this year. They're at home, but my gut tells me to go with PRC in this one. So that's where I'm going. But man, I really think this Wayne County team is going to be so improved this year. I'm hoping to be proven wrong on that pick.
Yeah, the Jugheads are back.
Are they?
The Jugheads are back. I've talked to the leader of the Jugheads, and they're supposed to be back. And fans are going crazy over there. They really are.
So they're
no sarcasm.
No sarcasm. I think that hire with Coach Lamp, I think that was a great hire. At least to get your fan base back, for sure. I'm gonna say Wayne County wins this, and I think they probably win it by 10 or more.
I like it.
I don't dislike either pick. I like Jack's orange shirt. I always like Coach Lamp. And if he tells me that the Jugheads are back, I know that atmosphere is going to be a lot different than it has over the last 5 years. And I'll have to go with Pearl River losing to Wayne County.
Boom. And the last game we're going to pick before we go to Guru previewing the other games that we will be at, Taylorsville at Mize, folks. So we've got Taylorsville at Mize.
There's only one pick and there's one.
I'm going them Tars.
You picked the wrong one.
Mize. I'm going with the
I knew But you remember last year I did the same thing.
I mean, them Bulldogs.
Mize by 3 touchdowns at least. Watch out for them. Watch out for Mize.
Look, it's one of those games that you could go either way, but I definitely trust y'all's expertise of the area teams better than mine since I'm only second year into this, but I'm going to stick with Taylorsville. I marked them, not changing it. Now, Guru, you wrote the previews on both of our county games this week, so I think it would be best to let you kind of. Now, we're not picking these games because we're going to pick them there at the school before the games. But Guru, kind of tell us what you've learned from talking to the coaches and from what you've seen. We'll start with Northeast Jones at South Jones. That's the game that's being played tomorrow night. So kind of let us know a little bit about the preview there.
I mean, Jack, to be totally honest, it's all the same for everybody. The one good thing that each coach said, whether it made it into the preview article or not, is with starting off against a county rival makes it so much easier than taking, let's say, a D'Iberville Raleigh.
Yeah.
And, well, no, I'm not going to use that one because there's that classification difference that makes that one a bigger deal. But like Pearl River Central, Wayne County, 2 same classification teams, no history against each other. I mean, it's the first game of the season. Yes, they're ready to go out there and hit people, but both coaches for both of those teams at Pearl River Central and Wayne County, they're going to have to put in a little bit extra work and effort and getting their guys up and getting them focused on that game that week. But when you have Northeast Jones playing at South Jones, you have West Jones playing at Laurel, you don't have any more motivation. And Coach Ernest at Laurel said that, in his opinion, and it's no disrespect to any of the other county matchups that are out there that are played every year, he thinks that Laurel West Jones is the premier rivalry game in Jones County, and I have a hard time disagreeing with that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I played in that game when I was there at Laurel. I hated West Jones. I even carved it into my arm, the WJ with the circle and the line through it. Little did I know I would have a son win a state championship and go to school at West Jones at the time. But, both of the games are huge to start out because you want to start the season out 1-0. It makes it easier going into week 2. And I know in week 2 for 3 out of the 4 schools, I mean, you get West and Northeast playing, then Laurel's playing their huge rivalry game in the big jug game against Hattiesburg. And just overall, this is just our jumping off point. We're going to see, like I talked about with South Jones and their quarterback situation. We're going to see what Northeast really looks like with their transformation from the wing tee to a spread attack, even though Coach Milner says even in that spread formation, their number one thing that they want to do is to continue to run the football, control the clock. We're going to see how that looks with Eli Collins at quarterback. We're going to see when it's real time if Bryson Bivens tries to make those deep throws and forcing it, or if he tries to check down, or if he takes off and run. We get to see Tootie Lindsay at full strength and his 2 key targets. And then Elijah Jones, the sophomore running back, whose older brother now plays at Gulf Coast, was big time for West Jones in their run to a state championship a few years ago. Coach Pearson spoke highly of his running ability, and then his 2 slot receivers. So, I mean, the one thing with West Jones is defense. That's where, especially on the back end, they need work. Laurel, defensively, I think will be okay. There's obviously giving up that many points against Heidelberg in the Jamboree is not something that you want to see, but that's why you use that practice game to get ready for week 1. And South Jones has, on defense, they have some weak areas, a little bit more so up front as opposed to, I mean, they got Braden Armstrong and Ezra Elsie right there in the middle, two of the best linebackers in the county. They're pretty solid on the back end. But, even though these are rivalry games, number one, it's not hard for any of the schools to get up to play against each other. Even in a loss, you're going to learn a lot.
Yeah, it is still just week 1.
And it's just week 1, And for all 4 schools, win or lose, it's not the end of the day, because the games that count are when you get in the region play. Because like Coach
Season
Pearson
2.
always says, 3 seasons.
Yep.
There's the non-region games, there's your region games, and then there's the playoffs. And, you know, for better or for worse, and for lack of better words, even though these are real games that count, a loss isn't the end of the world, and a win doesn't mean that you're necessarily any better than the other team. And I guess we'll leave it at that.
Well, before we wrap up, there's one question I want to ask both of you guys, because both of y'all got to cover Coach Pearson during his first go around there at West Jones. How excited, Kevin, are you to see him back on the sidelines this year? I mean, I know when he came back, you guys were pretty excited about the news. So how excited are you going to be to see him walking the sidelines?
Oh, it's going to be
again this
great.
year?
It's going to be absolutely great. I like to say I have a good relationship with Coach Pearson. Me and him he's always shot straight with me.
He asked where you were Friday at the Jamboree, by the way.
Oh, really? Good. Good deal. But yeah, I mean, I've always enjoyed talking to Coach Pearson. And it's going to be really cool to see him back, and just to see the fan base. I think that, right or wrong, whatever it was, I think that this fan base is fueled a little bit more than what they were in previous years. I think that it's going to be a different atmosphere there. The best way I can put it. The same goes at Laurel, though. I think, and I'll say this on the record, I think sometimes you have to have a little bit of shakeup with your coaching staff. And I think having a Corey Reynolds there as offensive coordinator and changing your staff a little bit is going to rejuvenate those guys. And like you said, week 1, win or loss, it doesn't matter in the true sense of things. But I think you'll see a rejuvenated Laurel too. I think that bringing in a guy like Corey that's a really good offensive mind will probably take some pressure off Coach Ernest. And I think that that's a good thing. So, yeah, I think this is a great rivalry. Northeast and South, while it may not be the premier rivalry like we talked about, dude, it was one of the most exciting games last year that I went to.
In multiple sports, too, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that in every aspect of athletics, Northeast Jones and South Jones found a way to fire one another.
Yeah.
I think that's just really cool. So, yeah, I'm excited about Thursday and Friday.
And it's the first turf game in Jones County history.
It is.
You know, same question to you.
I'll tell you like this, because it was a question I asked Scott Monday evening when I was on the phone with him. And I will tell you this, and this is straight from the man's mouth himself. It's not about Scott Pearson. It's about the kids. And I wrote his retirement article that appeared in the Leader Call. And
because you were his reporter, I think was the way it was said.
Correct. And that's all he talked about then. That's all he talks about now. The one difference between Scott Pearson of old and the new one is he's having more fun, and he's trying to build more relationships with all of his players. And, you know, from Tootie Lindsay, one of your star players, Chandler Watson, who was all Leader Call Jones County last year, down to the freshmen that may not even get to dress and go on the road trips. And, you know, building those relationships with every kid, because they're from all different walks of life. They have all different skill sets, but they're all, to him, his kids. Because everyone that has played for Coach Pearson, whether it was at Bay Springs or out in Soso at West Jones, you know, I don't know many that would say anything negative about him. And if there is one that has something negative they want to say, they can bring it to me and we can discuss it. But further than that, you know, good luck to not only Coach Pearson, Coach Ernest, Coach Milner, Coach Harrington. We wish you could all go undefeated, but since you all play each other, we know that's not going to happen. Yeah. And, you know, just wish safety to all the players as well. We know some negative things are going to happen as far as injuries go. That's part of the game of football. That's part of sports in general. But we hope it's just very limited, and just go out there and have fun. Seniors, make the most of it. You're guaranteed only 10 or 11 games, and that's all you're guaranteed. Go out there and kick ass as much as you can, and leave it all out on the field. Everything you got, every play, every down.
Absolutely. Well said, Guru. I think that's the one to wrap up on. If you want to hold up that football magazine again for our viewers, so that way you can see again the Kickoff 2026 issue of the Laurel Leader Call Football Preview Magazine is here. You can pick it up tomorrow morning here at the Laurel Leader Call office here in downtown Laurel, so check that out. Of course, he's got a good message over there, as Kevin is prone to do. We will see you guys tomorrow night before kickoff, and
I'll have the reservation.
Yeah, and we will let you know then who we are picking tomorrow night, and save, of course, West and Laurel for when we're out there between the bricks the next night. But I'm Jack Fairchild, and for Kevin Lindsay and Josh Guru Nichols, this has been the Laurel Leader Call Sports Show. We'll see you guys again tomorrow night.